Almost 8 months ago, Helene moved through our area.
This afternoon, we have team coverage as Western North Carolina continues to rebuild. News 13's Ed DiOrio is in the town of Laurel Park and speaks on their need for funding for recovery.
But first, we are looking at a program to provide housing to more than 12,000 people displaced by Helene. North Carolina's state auditor says just 6 temporary units have been bought in a state-funded program for up to 1,000 units. News 13's Kimberly King joins us in the studio. And Kim, do we know why state leaders didn't buy more trailers?
Tammy, the short answer is no. Governor Stein signed an executive order back in January clearing the way for state funds to buy them. But so far, the office hasn't specifically said why more weren't bought. Governor Stein, in his first day in office in January, signed that executive order specifically for funding for buying trailers. Executive Order number 1 stated North Carolina Department of Public Safety is authorized to purchase up to 1,000 units. This is what Stein said.
It is urgent that people have warm and safe places to live now.
I mean, currently we show 6, and that number has been steady now for several months. And we've verified that that is the accurate number.
Now, the state auditor has a Helene spending tracking dashboard that confirms that just 6 units are occupied. Of those, there's 1 in Haywood, according to the tracker, and 2 in McDowell. The rest are outside our area. Now, a governor's spokeswoman tonight sent us a statement that says in part, quote, in January, Governor Stein signed an order to stand up the state's temporary travel trailer program to provide disaster survivors more options as quickly as possible, especially during the cold winter months. And they confirmed there have been 6 trailers purchased. No households are currently on the wait list. Coming up at 6, what could happen to the unused funds that we're following? Holly.
Kim, thank you. Detours, limited utilities, and downed trees remain in many towns after Helene. Areas are waiting for relief funding from the state and federal governments, which continues to be unknown.
News 13's Ed DiOrio takes us to one of those areas. The little town of Laurel Park continues to wait for help with millions of dollars in repairs.
This is just a glimpse of what it looked like here in Laurel Park in Henderson County right after Helene. Thursday was our first chance to see all of the effects the area has had since the storm nearly 8 months ago. But the thing is that town manager Kara Reeves says that a lot of those images look the same as they did back in late September.
The need as of today is basically the exact same that it was in late September.
Whether it's on the roads,
the whole section here is still closed.
Underground,
our roads to our public infrastructure, our parks,
or anywhere else in the small town.
We've got over 70 culvert damages, culvert failures, culvert displacements, and landslides.
Laurel Park has a lot to address. The municipality was able to fix some emergency repairs, but with an overall budget of $4.5 million, they're waiting on the state and FEMA.
We can move a lot quicker if we weren't seeking reimbursement, but our hands are essentially tied.
As multiple roads remain closed and many parts aren't making progress on repairs, the town is ready to change that.
We have the proper contracts in place to build our team, to have a seat at the table when we do sit down with the officials from FEMA and from North Carolina Department of Emergency Management.
It just needs the financial backing, like many mountain towns, to get it done.
The state's been talking a big game, the federal government has been talking a pretty big game, and I just want to see proof.
Now, all of the projects combined here in Laurel Park, according to Reeves, cost somewhere between $10 to $15 million. In Henderson County, Ed DiOrio, News 13.
Highwire Brewing is back open in the River Arts District after being closed almost 8 months. Flooding from Helene submerged the location, which housed the business headquarters, distribution center, and Rad Beer Garden. To celebrate this milestone, the business is holding a reopening party this Saturday. It will feature live music, food trucks, roaming visual performers, a maker's market, and 24 lines of Highwire brews on draft.
I feel so badly for all the businesses that were lost here. If in some small way we can come here and help show that the River Arts District is back, and be sort of this big loud building and show people that we're open for business, and that helps the community. I take comfort in just trying to help out in that way.
Again, the reopening celebration is this Saturday from noon to 9.
Buncombe County Public Health is rebooting a door-to-door survey. It will assess the public health needs and trends in Buncombe County in the wake of Helene. It's designed to better understand the community needs, identify public health issues, and inform recovery and preparedness efforts. Teams will visit randomly selected households June 4th through the 6th. The survey was originally scheduled for early April, but was delayed due to federal funding cuts. You have more on what is in the state Helene's funding dashboard, right?
Tammy, Governor Stein, along with many other officials in the days after Helene, spoke passionately that people needed temporary housing. But we know FEMA brought in a fraction of the trailers compared to thousands that were brought in to New Orleans after Katrina. The state auditor finding similar low numbers with the state's program.
I pledge to do everything in my power as governor to accelerate recovery.
Governor Stein, his second day in office, January 2nd, at an Asheville news conference, said this.
It is urgent that people have warm and safe places to live now. People need temporary housing now.
Amid the devastation, Stein signed an executive order stating there's an urgent need for temporary housing units. North Carolina Department of Public Safety is authorized to purchase up to 1,000.
I mean, currently we show 6.
Dave Boliak's the state auditor.
And that number has been steady now for several months. On January 2nd, the governor asked the Council of State to be able to go outside the normal purchasing routine in order to authorize the purchase of up to 1,000 units.
The auditor's Helene Spend Tracker dashboard confirms that 6 units are occupied, 1 in Haywood and 2 in McDowell, the 3 others beyond local counties.
The data that we get is from the governor's office, and it's from various other sources across state government.
As for the low number, we asked, do you have questions about why?
I think that it's just people's nature. I don't think that folks have feel like that's probably the best use of where they want to live.
The auditor says he has no knowledge if funds allotted could or will be reappropriated, although we know Stein, in his latest Helene request, is asking the General Assembly to reallocate $45 million in unobligated Helene state funds. Tonight, a governor's spokeswoman sent us a statement that says in part, quote, in January, Governor Stein signed an order to stand up the state's temporary travel trailer program to provide disaster survivors more options as soon as possible. Especially during the cold winter months, there have been 6 trailers purchased and no households are currently on the wait list. In some national coverage, we've seen video of people living in tents and reporters stating when they came to the area, look, there's no housing, but we know because we've talked with many of those people that they wanted to stay in some of the tents and stay on their property. Tammy?